Good day, my viewers. Hello, everyone. For today's fascinators tutorial, today we'll be dealing with fascinator that you have seen before this. This fascinator and materials include this following. We'll be using our heart wire, and this is what I'll use to embellish it. Then we need a rubber. You can use Alice band, you can use band rubber, anything just to hold this frame to the head. Then this is going to be something to place on it for the design. Then we need, of course, our feathers. Then we need the bishop cap, bishop round cap. Then we need our hoo gum. Then we need our fabric. And then we'll be using, of course, our tape rule, match thread and needle, scissors, the masking tape. We'll see what we'll use the masking tape to do. So, and then I make use of one other material that I didn't put here. It's just a sharp object to use to cut the art wire. So those are the items. So continue to watch as I carry on with the making of the fascinator. Now for the cap itself, so this is what we are going to do. You can take something that can make a mark on the cap inside. So I'm using a chalk to just make a mark, just a mark inside the cap. Then my wire, then you take your tape rule rather. Then the mark is just for you to know where you start measuring from. So just your measurements, you just do. Then you go this way. Then you take the measurement of the cap. So I have 21 for this bishop cap. I have 21. So you go to your wire. Then you measure your 21 from the wire. So measure 21 from the wire, then you cut it out. So I actually make use of a very sharp object to just cut, then I break it off, so it was easy for me to cut out. So that's the first wire, because we'll be using 2 wire. So this one is for this, for the tip of this. So what I'll be doing to is take my thread and needle, and thread, then I'm going to tack it down to the tip of the cap. I'm going to tack it. I'm going to be running a stitch to hold it down to the cap. Reason is that after you do that, you find out that the cap will be sitting well on the head. So that's for the first iron. Then for the second iron, it's just depending on how big you want it to be now. So for example, this is my cap. I've already cut out what I want for the wire. So you can see, I don't know if this is showing. So this is the brim. So I actually don't want it to be too big nor too small. So this is just what is perfect to what I did. So in case you actually want to know what I actually use, so this is the measurements. Let's go with it together of what I actually use. So I actually use 40. So I just make use of 40. So 40 was what I use. So now you can see that I've already tacked it down here. How did I do it? After cutting it out, I just make it, they're climbing each other just a little. The wire is not like this, it's not pointing at each other, it's climbing each other just a little. Then I took my thread. I've already done it into like 4. So my thread, that's what I did. So I started, the thread is actually long, so I held it down. Then I started like halfway to it. Then I begin to roll it over. Then when I secure this place well, then I roll it back to this particular point again. Then I roll it down, then it stayed very well for me. Then I took my masking tape and I'll place it on it. I place it on, you can see it's not bulky, it's very flat, and looking nice. So I just place my masking tape on it. So that's how I achieve the brim and the two arch wire. That's how I achieved it. So now the fabric for the brim. So just place your material this way, put your iron, your wire rather, just put your wire there. It's going to be wasting some of the cloth, but it's fine. So just place it. This material I actually bought 1 yard of it. Bought 1 yard. Now take note, if you begin to squeeze it, you find out that the iron will de-shape, like it can form any shape depending on how tight you do it. But for the sake of this for the sake of this fascinator that I'm doing, I'm not going to be bending, I'm not going to be folding it. I just want it round. Okay, I just want it to be round, just round like that. So I will not be twisting, I will not be doing whatever thing. So make sure you draw out excess cloth up. Then what I'll do is draw it up, then I'll take my thread and I'll tie it down. Make sure it's not bending, it's not turning. Tie it down. So once I finish tying it down, so I will now adjust it. So I will adjust it to bring out all these excess folding, just to bring them out very well and make them look very nice. Okay, so when I'm done with that, I'll come back and show us what I get from it. To make the brim, this is how to make the brim. That particular fascinator, I've showed us how to make this wire. This is now what I'll be doing is, this is it, and this is where the work of my Google gum comes in. I'll just be applying little, oh god, some of the gum on the wire. And then I'll go. So I'll be doing this till I finish up all the wire, finish covering the wire. Now I'm done fixing it. You can see how beautiful it's looking. So nice. Cut off the excess for now. So as it says, so here it is. I need to start adjusting before I give you the final time. Actually now be doing is, next is to now, I'm just trying to check something. Okay, so the next thing to do is to attach the arch wire to the cap. So I'll go my thread and needle. I've already knotted it. So I just begin to hold it. You can see I did not bother myself saying I want to start from here where the iron stops, so I just skip it. I'll do it together. So I begin to just hold it down to the tip of it to make the cap to stand and stay firm on there. So I'll be doing it round to the end of the cap. So now I'm done attaching the arch wire to it. You can see it stand very firm. You can see it. So I'm done attaching it to it. So now it's covering up this cap too. Covering up this cap too. Just cut it off. So I think it's just okay this way. If I want to do a measurement now, I will see that I have 2.5 here. I have 2.5 here. Perfect. So I'll take my thread and needle again. Then I'll be running the stitches down with it. So I'll make sure I'm running a stitch down with it. I want to attach this brim to the cap. So how do I do that now? I will need to use my thread and needle to start attaching it to the cap. So I don't want to miss out the, so I'm just doing this so that while I'm sewing, I will not miss out the, so while I'm sewing, it's just my tailor's chalk, so that I will know the, so I can then be free to hold it and begin to tack it down. Maybe I'm not off the line, so I'll be tacking it behind the camera. Just my thread and needle tacking. Don't know if I can start to do an example of it. So just pass it through again. So pass it through again. Just like this. At this point, I had to turn the rough part inside because it was holding on to my thread. So I had to turn it in then before I start sewing again. So you get to see it when I'm cutting. So I'm going to attach it to it. So as you can see. So I'll be doing that round it just to hold it together. Now here we are. I finished attaching the brim to the cap. As you can see it now, finish. So the next thing is to cut out the excess. You can see the way I did it. So just to cut out the excess, all those ones in it. So that's it. The excess has been cut out. So now we have it. So I'll be covering this up with the bias just to make it look nice. So this is it. Covering it with bias. Okay. So here we are. Our cap is ready. So the next thing to do now is to attach the design that will be on it to it. So actually this part now is going to be like the front side of it. So just to put you can place it anyhow you know how to do it best. Place it the way you want it. So this is what I'll be using to cover up the feathers bottom. So but before that, what we use is still remaining. Then we're still going to be designing the body. So this is the way the design will go. I'll just be, and I'll cut it. Then I have another one, so I'm going to be lining it up on it. I'm going to be lining it up on it. So I'll go and do that right now. Then I'll come back after I line it up with it. After lining it up with it, then I'll be covering the sewing side with this. So as you can see the one, so I'll be covering it up, the sewing. I'll just cover it up with it, round it after that. So I'll be using my gum to do that now. So just cover it up like this, around it, while the other ones are there. So let me go and fix it and come back and show us how it looks like. This particular side also, I first use my thread and needle to hold down the feathers. Thread and needle to hold down the feathers. So I now cover the thread and needle that I sewed up with that design thing that I'm now gumming on it. So it's not as if I gum the feathers and I gum the design. I actually use thread and needle to hold down the feathers, then gum the design. That's how I did it. Okay. So now the next thing I'm doing is actually attaching a band to it. I wanted to use this, but I noticed that it was too late for me to put it. I should have done that. If you are using this type, make sure that you attach it to your bishop cap directly before starting anything, so that the sewing to it, you sew it inside this way, you sew it, then the sewing, then you use the cloth to cover it up. It will be under this cloth, so it will not be showing on this place. So take note. So that's why I could no longer make use of this. So I had to now use this and try to attach it and hide it under this particular one too. You can see I'm placing it under the excess cloth that I want to place bias on. I just place it under it. Just place it under. Then I'll sew it to it. So at the end, because the cloth, the what's it called now? The satin may not be able to hold it well. I'm still going to be tacking it directly outside, but it will just be a dot at the top of it. That's what it will be. I'm talking about this side. It's going to show here, but it's just going to be a dot on it, and it will not be showing that much. So just attach it to it. So now I'll be showing us the final look of it, how it finally looked like. Now if you can look at it very closely, you see the dot I'm talking about. Just dot, so that it will not show only too much. But I finished tacking it, so now we've fully completed the design. Fully completed it. So I'll be going this way. So, and that's it. So let me put it on mannequin and do a video of it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. See you later.